Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP possible from the Mandeville Gold Saucer when judging begins for the Fashion Report minigame every Friday. This is week 418 and the theme this time is Jester-in-Near-East, and the individual clues include Acton locally for your body, Noir for your legs, Near Eastern Nights for your feet, and The Father for our wrist slot. In this video we have a 100 as well as a series of easy 80s. Okay, for a 100 score, as you can see, we have gone for a Acton. This is the Hempen Acton. Acquired then, it's a level 8 Disciple of War piece, but of course with 7.4's update, of course you don't need to be a Disciple of War because the glamour, you can just right click or subcommand and apply this as a glamour to whatever gear you want, regardless of level or job. So the Hempen Acton is actually purchased from a low-level city-state armor vendor, such as Walter here in Uldar's Sapphire Avenue Exchange, and this is on the Disciple of War and then levels 1 to 9 tab. Very easily affordable, 273 gil just for this one item, and of course that will give you gold for this slot. Of course there are many other Acton that would work. This includes Cotton, Storm Privates, Brigands, Mercenaries, Veterans, Peltast, Holokins. All of those Actons should also work for gold rating, but of course this is the most accessible and vendor purchased, so even free trial players will be able to get their hands on this very easily. Relatively. Moving on to our legs then. This is however locked out of people probably from free trial. These are the Noir slacks. These are a piece of glamour as part of the Noir attire. These are actually obtained from Sildan Subterrane, which is a variant mode dungeon. You will need to actually get 12 Sildan potsherds and exchange them at the vendor there in Old Charlian to get those. Of course, this is the only item that seems to fit this slot. It is designed and themed around that item, so bear that in mind. Moving on to the feet then, for Near Eastern Nights, we've got the Thavnarian sandals. I believe the Thavnarian babouches will also work as well, which are the small shoes. You can actually obtain these, of course, from a level 60 one-star leatherwork craft. Not too unobtainable, but of course you will have to obviously do some crafting if you're a free trial player because you will not have access to the market board, but for everyone else these shouldn't be too difficult to obtain. Then of course for our last slot we have for the Father a prototype or regular Gordian wristband. These could be for any role or job, it doesn't matter. You can obviously obtain these by getting yourself a Gordian bolt. Gordian bolts then are obtained from Alexander from the first cuff, arm or burden of the Father, so all of those instances will drop a tarnished Gordian bolt. You can then go to Idleshire and talk to the NPC Hismena and exchange your bolt for an accessory of your choice. Any of the wrists will work as long as they are the prototype Gordian or regular Gordian wristbands. Moving on then to our 80s. For one such easy 80, it makes sense to make the most of the vendor purchase gear. So in this particular example, we're using the Hempen Acton. Again, this is something you can get for 273 gil from any low-level city-state armor vendor, such as Qualter in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, Disciple of War tab, level 1 to 9 tab, 273 gil. Then what you would need to do is go to any low-level dye merchant such as Nanabe in Uldar as well, or maybe even Kasumi if you've unlocked the vendor option next to Fashion Report, and buy yourself some bark brown dye, which is incredibly cheap, and then dye that chest piece bark brown. Then combining that with another vendor purchase dye, the ice blue dye, ice blue of course, also vendor purchase dye, very accessible to free trial players. Buy one of those and dye any hands in the game those, and then make sure with those two dyes and the Hempen Acton and something equipped in every slot, it doesn't matter what, you will be guaranteed an 80 score. This is one of the simplest weeks that we've seen in a very long time and is heavily recommended to not waste your time. This should work for obviously free trial players as well as regular players as well. And in a very similar vein to the other 80 that we got, this then is combining that Hempen Acton, which of course is the low-level city-state armor vendor purchase, Disciple of War level 1 to 9 piece, and we're combining that with a singular dye on any helm in the game, which is Gubu Grey, which is a 40 gil purchase dye from low-level city-state dye merchants, or of course from Kasumi next to the fashion report minigame if you have that vendor unlocked. So just using a Gubu Grey on any Hell minigame and that act on, make sure something is equipped in every slot, and you'll get an 80 score. So that's even better because that's even one less die than normal. But again, both of these are pulling at straws, basically, just saving you an extra couple of gil. And then, of course, finally, the other obvious way of doing this would be to combine any 2 items from the 100, as per usual, with something equipped in every other slot. So we've got the Hempen Acton combined with that of the prototype Gordian wristband, of course, from the Gordian series raids, from the Tarnished Gordian Bolt. Again, you can get those from Fist, Cuff, Arm, or Burden of the Father, those instances, and exchange your Tarnished Bolt in Idleshire at his manor to get a bracelet of your choice. All of them will work. And just those 2 items, again, those 2 gold items gets us up to 85. So, of course, if you wanted to go for this, or obviously the much easier option, which is just a vendor purchase item and a die or 2, that's probably your best bet. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful, and thank you once again to everyone for watching the videos this week. There will be more coming out over the weekend and next week, and thank you so much for your support. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.